Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Or good evening or afternoon, wherever you are in the world.
Absolutely right there. Absolutely right. Okay.
And this is Roger.
And this is the Smiley Queen.
Hi.
Then you can see a channel title here coming through. Okay, and then you can watch it too. Okay.
Oh,
So
subscribe.
Today,
Subscribe to my channel too if you enjoy this. But today our topic we're going to talk about is
awareness.
awareness. How aware are you?
Yes, how aware are we about the environment where we live, the planet where we are? And unfortunately, at this moment in time, the main topic across the world is that coronavirus.
Yes.
Now, that's obviously it's a disaster for most countries. It's a disaster for the economy. It's thousands and thousands of people, unfortunately, are going to lose their jobs. Because people stop going to Italian restaurants, for example. I've just seen that this morning on the television, or even Chinese. Even though I got myself a Chinese last night, and it was fine. But obviously there is this element of fear. So this coronavirus is pushing government to work together because really they don't have a choice. Because if we don't. As frightening as it looks like, I mean, half of the planet could be wiped out if we're not careful, if we're not doing anything about it.
I think and if we're talking about awareness, we have to be aware of ourselves and others. And that's taking attention to personal hygiene, but also being aware of others, because some people will be elderly and sick and we need to look after them too. So we do need to look after ourselves and others. But moving on to awareness, I did research in my master's degree about people who reach their peak in life, self-actualizers. And in different religions, in Buddhism we call that revealing your Buddhahood. Different religions will have different words for it: God, or the source, or the universe,
Or the cosmos,
the spirit within you.
Yeah,
lots of different
the soul, the divine source, and that kind of thing. So we all have different words. No, absolutely.
And when I was researching these people who reach the peak in life, they're very aware of themselves and others. And if you're aware of something, you pay attention to it.
Yeah, that's a very good point you're making. Pay attention. And I think one of the issues in this society where we live, we just take things for granted. I'll be fine, I'll do this, I'll do that, and the other. And then suddenly something like the coronavirus, and it could have been something else, just strikes. And then we have to wake up. I think it's a massive wake-up call, and I hope this time we're taking notice. I mean, not just for the short term, because once it's solved, then all the countries.
We don't want to go back to the way we were before.
No.
Hopefully this is going to improve our standard of living, our hygiene, our health.
That's what I mean, because then we could easily go back in the Balabi. Oh, it's fine now, we solved it. The decline is working. Nobody's getting it now. Like let's say that will be in October, September. But then we got to carry on, not just follow the advice.
Continue that advice.
Then we follow the advice, obviously, what we've been given by the health authorities, but continue that advice afterwards and not stop on the way, because that's so easy to do. And most people do it, and I'm sure I've been guilty of that in the past of other things.
Yeah, it's interesting because the opposite of awareness is ignorance.
Yes, ignorance.
And I think a lot of, we hear a lot about things like cognitive behavioural therapy and mindfulness. It's all about being awareness about the here and the now. And you told me a beautiful story the other day about your friend who said, "Why are you looking down?"
Yeah, absolutely, and that was a good lesson actually. And I've listened to him since. I did a short video on that last week, but it's actually something that's I think worth mentioning, because unconsciously, when I am working in town, I go to Bolton town centre and all that, do my businesses I need to do. And for some reason, when I walk, I go like that when I walk. And then obviously what happened then? I am just only aware of the floor.
Front of you,
just a bit in front of me. And then I am not aware of my surroundings.
Yeah, I mean, I've got a challenge here. For you to go out on your regular route, doing your normal things, and use your eyes, your ears, see if you can notice things that you never noticed before. look at it with a fresh pair of eyes.
Absolutely, because
and, it brings great joy. I remember when I was doing my research, and I thought, I'm going to really pay attention to everything, and I could see the moss growing in the bricks. It was really beautiful. I could see how every door frame on the street was different. Things I really sort of thought, I'm going to really tune in my sense of awareness.
Absolutely right there, because now when I was, and the other day when I was walking, then I started unconsciously again to look at the floor. I said, oh, hang on a minute, what did Kiri say to you the other day? So then I lifted my head up, and then I started to be aware of what's going around me, people sitting on a bench, maybe just relaxing, reading a book, and then looking at the trees, and then around me, and then we have the privilege to be able to breathe the air around us, and then often we don't see that as a privilege, we just see it as counted. So I think it's interesting. How can I put it? I would call it in French maybe les petits bonheurs, so the small happiness. This.
Oh wow, how beautiful!
Yeah.
And you were telling me about the book, The Soul of the World, in the French book. Can you tell me a bit more about that? It was a very interesting book that Roger was sharing with me.
It's an absolutely beautiful book because they.
Do you have the book around?
I haven't got the. But it's okay. It's L'âme du monde by Frédéric Lenoir. L'âme du monde, A-M-E. And then before that, L''A''M'.
Is it going to be on the screen?
L'âme du monde. Yeah, I'll. You can see the title here, going through, right? Going past your L'âme du monde from Frédéric Lenoir, and
what's that book about?
So it's talk about two young people, and one live in a monastery, and then the other one is Natina, the young woman. And obviously they're getting very close to each other, but that boy or young man has been living in that monastery for a while because he's been taken away from his parents. But there is a story around wise people around all that, and how to approach, for example, gratitude. How do we thank? Who do we thank? So there was a beautiful story in there of a young toddler, was good to say. Obviously a toddler is young, but a toddler, a young girl who was pretty ill. And then, to cut a long story short, this young girl has been cured by somebody who was there with healing stuff, when you heal people. And then the father of that young girl thanks God for it. But then there was a discussion around that, saying, but it's not God that he should thank. He should thank the shaman. He should
person who's healed.
That person who healed it. And then there was a beautiful response around that. And then one of the wise men said, it doesn't matter who the dad is going to thank, whether he thank God or the young person who healed the girl, or in our case, maybe the doctor who look after us. And some people will just thank God. It doesn't matter. At the end of the day, that toddler is alive. That's what that matters. And I thought that was beautiful because it brings down the barriers about, how can I put
religion.
Yeah, that's it. That's what I meant to say.
Yeah.
So it brings down the barrier about religion. So at the end of the day, it doesn't matter who we thank, God, the doctor, and all that, because obviously that person will believe that God has put the right doctor in place, and then somebody else will send the doctor because their belief will be a bit different, and their outlook on life will be different. So I thought that was really beautiful because it's the barriers of religions are being like, how can I put it, the barriers between people are kind of fading away, and I thought that was really, really beautiful.
Yeah, it's interesting you say that, because I know when I was researching awareness, and one of the facets of awareness is if you're aware of something, you pay attention to it, and then you show appreciation for whoever's pointed that out to you.
Yeah.
When you have appreciation, or when you say thank you, it's because you're happy about something somebody's doing. If you're saying it sincerely, it's because you're happy about that. And it's whoever you thank, that gives you joy.
Absolutely.
Whether it's the God or the doctor or your Buddha self or whatever you choose to believe. And the other interesting aspect of that is...
don't worry, it's okay.
Oh yes, that's it. There's a program called Action for Happiness, and there's a very simple task. It's 2 minutes every night. If you think of 3 things that have made you happy in the daytime,
Oh, that's a good point.
If you do that for 7 days, psychologists have said that can affect your life positively, psychologically, for the next 6 to 7 months in advance.
Right.
So if you're going to have awareness and appreciation for things, make a little mental note at the end of the night, 3 good things that have happened to you today, thank whoever it is, and by the end of the week, your life will be positive, happier than it was before for the next 6 to 7 months. And carry on doing it if it works for you.
I was just going to say that if do it 7 days, why not do it 21 days or more? Because
continue doing it. Habit of a lifetime. That's what in our Buddhist practice we do say. Gratitude is the thing that enables you to be absolutely happy. Yeah. So being aware of things and then being appreciative for those things in your environment and showing gratitude, appreciation for that.
Okay, and you know what, guys? Take the challenge for yourself. Be grateful every evening for 3 things that's happened in the day. And it could just be you've done a good action for your neighbor, or it could be, anything. It doesn't have to be gigantic. It just could be very simple. Or just for the fact of having a good meal and being able to eat while a lot of people on this planet are really struggling meal by meal. So just be grateful for little things like that, and be grateful that, for example, I can go in my car today and then pick up the prescription about a mile away from here, because if I didn't have a car, I would have to walk. There is no buses.
Yeah. And finally, just to close, they look after yourselves, be good to yourselves, be good to each other, appreciate yourself, appreciate others, be aware of yourself, be aware of others.
And then look after your direct environment.
Yeah. Awareness of self, others, and the environment.
Okay, thank you, guys.
See you.
Bye for now.
Take care of yourself, take care of brothers. See you next time. Bye. Thank you for having me.
No worries.
Okay.
See you again. Bye-bye.